So with this second journey of mine, I'm really starting to notice some things that I didn't exactly notice last year when I first started. The biggest thing is the bruising. It seems like I'm bruising a lot easier than I did before. Well, by before, I mean before I went back on this second journey, because I do remember back in November, December of last year, I was having just random bruising. Like, I would help a friend move and I would just be covered in bruises on my legs. Like, there was always at least one bruise. So I don't want to say like this is completely new, but it's really kind of been bothering me these past few weeks. And so, at first it's like, am I like starting to change that much, my skin that much, that all of a sudden I'm able to see these bruises? Because I've been off of glutathione or I was off of it for almost 6 months. And during that time, I don't remember really having any bruises at all. And so I've been back on it for maybe 2 months. And so to me, it's still too soon to like have like a dramatic change in my skin. Like I can notice like the glow of my skin definitely has changed. That's why like in my other video, my 1 month on acetyl glutathione review, I was like, yep, it's $70 for a bottle, but I am buying a second one because I do see a change and my skin does look better on glutathione than when I wasn't taking it before. So it's like, but it's still too early to have like anything like drastic. Like, I still have, the majority of what I was, but it's slowly starting to change the undertone. But with that being said, all of a sudden these past probably month, I've noticed that I've been bruising. And so I had the one bruise, I think I showed you guys, it was here on my calf. And I showed you guys this like a few weeks ago, but it's finally started to fade, and it took about 2 weeks to fade, and I got that helping a friend movie TV. Okay, and so then last week I go and like we're just like barely kind of rearranging the room, and I think I ran into the side of something with my thigh, and I was like, oh my gosh, that hurt. Like, it hurt so bad. Like, I could feel like I got it good, and after like 30 minutes, like I could feel where it was raised, and I was like, oh wow, that's gonna bruise. And they said something like, oh my gosh, you bruised like a white person or something like that. And sure enough, by the end of the day, like this huge thing popped up. They just seem to be popping up, and I think I don't know, it's just weird how, to me, how quickly this is happening, because I don't feel like I've gone down since I started recently. Because yeah, if you look at my other stuff from, I took off glutathione for almost 6 months, and so I don't think yet that I've gone down like one shade since I just got back into it. I know after I did the skin peels, the chemical peels, I think that was like back in June or July, I definitely started seeing a change then. But since then, I don't think I've gone down another level or whatever. So it's like, okay, what's happening? So I had to look into it, and the first thing I thought was the vitamin C, and that was from the conversation that I had last week, and where I made a video on it, because the girl brought up something really interesting about what happened when she went to get her IV glutathione, and how the doctor told her they don't, no matter how much IV glutathione she gets, they do not give more than, I think, 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C, because our bodies, like, if you give too much, it'll like thin your blood, you can have heavier periods, and obviously that would be very bad for people who are anemic. And just also that they don't, like, our bodies can only take up to like 2,000, even if it's like the best of the best, it's like injection or IV, like that's all you can actually I'm trying to think of the word, but it's escaped me. But yeah, your body can only take so much or absorb so much, and the rest, goes out. And so, and then I told you guys, well, I feel comfortable just taking 4,000. Yes, I do know that is a lot, especially for liposomal vitamin C. Now, if you're taking regular vitamin C, you can actually push it, because regular vitamin C, like, it barely makes it into your blood anyways. And so, the more you take, if you're taking regular vitamin C, then probably the better. But if you're taking liposomal vitamin C, like, yeah, it does its job into getting into your blood. And so even 4,000 was a lot. But yeah, after that conversation, and that was like brought back to my attention, I like went straight to, that was like the first Google search, and mega dosing vitamin C and bruising. And so I found one article, I think it was from the university, Florida University, the one in Gainesville. And so it was like back in 2001, but they were talking about people who were taking, I think, close to 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and they didn't say what kind, which I hate when articles do this because there's so many different kinds. Like, we really need to know what kind were you doing, how is it administered. But it just, you know, it was almost 1,000 milligrams, and they were also taking NAC, the acetyl cysteine. And I think this is for people who needed to take iron supplements as well. And so those are the big three, but they did say that out of the studies that they did, they actually had volunteers injure themselves with this machine. And so they started giving them, I think it was high levels of vitamin C and NAC to help to see like if they wouldn't bruise as easily, or I don't know, something about like the muscles. This was used as a protective measure, and so they wouldn't be, I think, wounded for as long. And basically it did the exact opposite. Like, I think the bruising was worse, the swelling was worse, and it was because I guess they figured out it was too much vitamin C or whatnot. But like I said, this was a mixture of a lot of vitamin C, NAC. They didn't really say how much NAC. Oh, actually they did. I think they said, I think I got it confused. It was 700 milligrams NAC and I think 1,000 of vitamin C. And so, and yeah, and then some of the people were on iron as well. And so, you know, usually iron supplements is supposed to completely knock out any type of, you know, bruising easily or issues that you might have, because usually that's like a deficiency if you notice that you're like bruising easily. But yeah, it was kind of the exact opposite. And so basically it was just, by the end of the article, it was just like, you know, we really don't need that much vitamin C or whatnot. And obviously for me, I mean, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, like, even if, well, I actually am going to cut down my vitamin C and just see how I do these next few weeks, but I'm only going to cut it down to like 2,000, like 2,000 liposomal, and we'll see what happens from there. But I just thought it was really, really interesting. I could not find any other articles on mega dosing on vitamin C and bruising easily. Of course, I've only been on the NAC for maybe 2 weeks now, so if that, so it's too soon for me to like do that search because I was already bruising before that. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what has changed and why it seems that, like, you know, I'm bruising quite like this. It'll take another 2 weeks for this one up here to fade completely, and I'm sure there's other people, like, that's really the only thing that's changed, is that I started back up on glutathione and taking vitamin C. And yeah, the other stuff that I've introduced, it's too soon that I've been on it, and I was bruising before I got on like the milk thistle and the NAC, because like I just started those. So, and I don't think it's the MSM because I never stopped with the MSM. So yeah, that's just like something like to watch out for. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed that too, if you just notice, like, you know, if you are grabbed here, if you run into places like on your legs, just within hours there's like a bruise. And so I don't know, it's just interesting. Obviously bruises aren't that attractive, so I would like to not bruise as easily, but we'll see what I can do. My first thought was, okay, let's add iron, but after finding that one article, it's just like, okay, well, even people who are on the iron, it still looked like, you know, when they had, you know, minor injuries, it still didn't keep them from, you know, bruising as badly or being injured. So it was just weird.